Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to 365 Days of Love and Miracles with A Course in Miracles. My name is Arlene Geres, and I'm so glad that you are here. Please remember to stay right until the end because we have a special treat for you. And if you enjoyed today's video, please click like and subscribe because that helps others to find us on YouTube. Today's lesson is lesson number 15. My thoughts are images that I have made. Don't worry if this lesson doesn't make a lot of sense to you. That's true about a lot of the beginning lessons in A Course in Miracles. As we go on, they begin to make more and more sense. Remember, these lessons are like water dripping on cement. Drip, drip, drip. Each lesson, day by day. Drip, drip, drip. And eventually, these ideas start to break through the cement of our minds, and they really do make a lot of sense. Let's get on with the lesson. It is because the thoughts you think appear as images that you do not recognize them as nothing. You think them, and so you think you see them. This is how your seeing was made. This is the function you have given your body's eyes. It is not seeing, it is image making. It takes the place of seeing, replacing vision with illusions. Our thinking is actually made up of all of our past experiences, all of the stories that we have collected. We think when we look at something that we're seeing something exactly the way it is. But in fact, we are projecting our past experience onto it. Going back to the beginning lessons, when I look at a table, I'm seeing all of my past experience in regards to a table. If I'd never seen a table before, I would certainly see it very differently. We are not really seeing if we're simply looking through the ego's eyes. True seeing happens when we start to see through God's eyes. I have already told you that part of my morning prayer is to ask God to please give me His eyes to see. When I do that, I truly see everything differently. I perceive a whole lot more of my experience with love. This introductory idea to the process of image making that you call seeing will not have much meaning for you. You will begin to understand it when you have little edges of light around the same familiar objects which you see now. This is the beginning of real vision. You can be certain that real vision will come quickly when this has occurred. As we go along, you may have many light episodes. They may take many different forms, some of them quite unexpected. Do not be afraid of them. They are signs that you are opening your eyes at last. They will not persist because they merely symbolize true perception and they are not related to knowledge. These exercises will not reveal knowledge to you, but they will prepare the way to it. These light episodes are really interesting, and I can tell you that I have never actually experienced looking at a table, looking at a chair, looking at a tree, looking at a flower, and actually seeing light episodes. Don't worry about it. What I have come to understand through studying this concept is light is another word for God, as opposed to darkness. When we look at this concept of light through that lens, it starts to make a whole lot more sense. What we're striving for is to see through the eyes of God. This section also tells us that these light episodes will not actually give us knowledge, but they will open our eyes to the knowledge that already resides deep within every single one of us. We all have that inner wisdom, our higher wisdom. It's already part of us. All we have to do to erase the darkness is learn how to look through God's eyes. In practicing the idea for today, repeat it first to yourself and then apply it to whatever you see around you, using its name and letting your eyes rest upon it as you say, "This blank is an image that I have made. That blank is an image that I have made." If you like, close your eyes while I say this again and say it to yourself. This blank is an image that I have made. That blank is an image that I have made. It is not necessary to include a large number of specific objects for the application of today's idea. It is necessary, however, to continue to look at each subject while you repeat the idea to yourself. The idea should be repeated quite slowly each time. Let's do this together. As you look around the room, just say the idea to yourself. This is an image that I have made. That is an image that I have made. This is an image that I have made. That is an image that I have made. This lesson is a great example of how the Course burrows down into the idea by repeating the same idea over and over again in a slightly different way. So let's have a quick recap. We started with Lesson 1. Nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place means anything. Lesson 2. I have given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning it has for me. Lesson 3. I do not understand anything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place. Lessons 1, 2, and 3 set us up to recognize that the problem is always in our mind. Lesson 4, these thoughts do not mean anything. They are like the things I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place. Now we go from Lesson 4 to Lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think. First, we started with the objects that we see around us. Then we went to our thoughts. And now that we understand that the problem is in our thoughts, we can start to understand that when I'm upset, it's because of my thinking. Let's see Lesson 6. I am upset because I see something that is not there. Now we're starting to talk about seeing. You can see how they all start to come together. I see only the past. Once again, we're talking about our seeing. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. The past is impacting what I'm thinking about. My thinking is impacting what I'm seeing. I see nothing as it is now. Now we're getting a little bit deeper, getting close to the lesson for today. My thoughts do not mean anything. That was a shocking idea, wasn't it? All these years we've been thinking about all these things, some of us thinking that we're quite brilliant, just to learn that my thoughts do not mean anything. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. All those old stories are actually meaningless, and then I project that out onto the world. A meaningless world engenders fear. If I continue to think only with my human mind, I am going to continue to live in fear. God did not create a meaningless world. This is where we get the idea of two different thought systems. One being the thought system of the world, the other being God's thought system. And finally, here we are at Lesson 15. My thoughts are images that I have made. The bottom line is, I am responsible for my thinking. When I change my thinking, I change my life. Let's finish the reading. Although you will obviously not be able to apply the idea to very many things during the minute or so of practice that is recommended, try to make the selection as random as possible. Less than a minute will do for the practice periods if you begin to feel uneasy. Do not have more than 3 application periods for today's idea unless you feel completely comfortable with it, and do not exceed 4. However, the idea can be applied as needed throughout the day. Once again, we want to have our morning and evening practice period where we just review the lesson and the thought for today. My thoughts are images that I have made. And then 1 or 2 times throughout the day, just to remind ourselves of today's idea. We are also encouraged to apply the idea as needed throughout the day. So if we find ourselves just feeling a little bit off track, maybe we've gone off into the past, creating some depression, or maybe we've gone into the future, creating some anxiety, we can stop and remind ourselves, my thoughts are images that I have made. They are not real. Please, God, give me your mind to think and your eyes to see. Thanks so much for staying right until the end. Are you ready for our special treat?
Just look at this beautiful fountain in the piazza in Siena. The pigeons seem to really like it too.
These are images that I have made. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I love you.